Hey, and welcome back to Love Selfishly, where I share my personal stories and experiences about self love, motherhood, relationships, healing, and mental health. Flourishing to be our true, authentic selves and being unapologetic. I'm your host, Sasha. Today's episode is deeply personal and necessary. We're diving into self care and mental health for Black women. How we can break free from the strong Black women trope and prioritizing our peace and truly thrive in our lives. Let's be honest, society often expects us to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. But we deserve rest, joy, and healing too. So grab yourself something to drink, something to snack on, and let's get into it. We all know the definition of depression and what it may feel like for those that had experienced depression is the continuous of feeling sadness that just doesn't go away no matter what you do. And the symptoms that, are most commonly known and show are like mood swings, loss of appetite, so you'll be eating less or eating a lot more to cope, not enjoying activities that you are interested in, but it doesn't interest you anymore. And another things that doesn't need, like talk list out the symptoms, but like, like showing up, smiling, laughing all the time just to hide the fact that you're depressed so no one doesn't have to suspect it, or to worry someone, not wanting to burden them. Of course, suicidal thoughts, or, like it can also lead to suicidal attempts. And so that is like the definition of depression. The symptoms of depression in Black women are a little bit different. We may show those symptoms that I have mentioned, what I just mentioned, but we also experience sleep disturbance, irritability, low libido, and self criticism. And most of the time, when if we do have access to healthcare and and we are reaching out for help, that we may experience depression is usually overlooked or misdiagnosed. That we are not experiencing depression because we're not showing the mood swings and low appetite and like having suicidal thoughts and all that stuff. And it's being overlooked at as like an angry Black woman, but when that isn't really the case because like how we were brought up differently from other race. And so like our experience of depression is going to look different from others. And so our irritability is actually our anxiety, where we're just like on survival mode, flight or fight mode when things are triggering our stressors. Um and then it comes across that we're lashing out, but like it's just our anxiety. I don't know like what other way to say it. Like it's just our anxiety. This is how we respond to anxiety when we are in a very like tense situation. And also like the self-criticism is also a symptom of depression because we always think that we're not doing enough when we are doing everything, and we feel like we're not accomplishing things successfully or we're not where we need to be, or struggling financially, um, or like not performing well academically, or I work, and we always criticize ourselves that we're the reason why we're not at where we're at. And that is mentally draining as well, because like we're just constantly in our head, and like our mind are racing, and that we don't even realize it. Like before, like when I was, well, I yeah, when I was diagnosed with depression, like every morning I will wake up with my thoughts just flooding in my head, rushing all day, and it will constantly keep going until it's ready for me to go to bed. But then, like, it will take me a long time to go to sleep because my thoughts are still racing, and that's where we get the lack of sleep when we are going to bed early enough and we still wake up feeling exhausted. That is sleep disturbance. That is lack burned out for us. And that's, so like when we tell our parents, like that we're depressed, is usually being denied and dismissed because we don't have a reason to be depressed. We are not doing things that should trigger for us to be depressed. All we do is just go to school, do some schoolwork, and we have food in the house and a roof over our heads. And for that, like we cannot be depressed. And then another thing is that because, society makes mental health a bad name for itself, that, we think that if you are depressed or any type of mental condition or illness, you're crazy. And that isn't the case. And this is why it's so hard for us to accept that we may be depressed or have anxiety and to seek help. This explains why we feel we're overworked a lot. And, and this is why we go also like misdiagnosed, because we don't want others to think that we're not right in our minds, in which that has nothing to do with it. And so, like, when I told my parents that, like I was diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety, my dad was like, don't take the medication every day. It's going to make you go crazy. And then I'm like, I have to take it every day. Like, chemically, I am in balance. I've, my self care is going to the gym and, spending time with myself and to like recharge myself. I journal, I go to therapy twice a week. And so I'm doing all these things that I'm supposed to do to help me, you know, get me better, get me in track, but it was just wasn't enough. Like it was just I tried. I really, really tried. Like I use all of my resources before I seek medical help. And so, and on top of that, I was not performing well at my previous job before I got fired. Um, and like it was interfering with that. So, like, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do, but like it's just not enough. And so, and I, with that, like what my goodness, what my dad said is like, it's just like a trigger response, like a fear of like, I won't be able to be normal. And that really wasn't the case. I feel great, by the way. Like, I wish I would have seek help earlier in my young adult life and allow it to get it this bad. And when I told my mother, she was telling me that, oh, like sometimes, life can be rough, it can be hard, but like we always have to get back up and keep on going. Let me say that again. We gotta get back up and keep on going. We do not have time to be depressed because we gotta keep on going. And like that is definitely the definition of depression in Black women. We are not allowed to feel our emotions. We are not allowed to be sad. We are not allowed to express anything that is human because we're so afraid of like falling back. We're afraid of being called out and labeled as lazy. We are so afraid that we're losing time and that there's so much things to do that like I will relax when I have time, which is never. So the strong Black women is a systematic racism that labels us to endure anything that comes our way and a coping strength for how Black women should act. This is learned from us and conditioned since we were young girls. We would watch our mothers, grandmothers, aunts, and sisters consistently on the move to keep pushing, and there wasn't room to articulate their emotions. And so, because as young Black girls, and we were conditioned that, and that's what we see growing up, therefore, that is what we are required to do. So, because this is what we see from generation to generation, we think that being a strong Black woman is something that we should be proud of, that we should put our heads high and have honor. It's like a badge honor. That's something that we should be like happy about, which honestly, it's very unhumane to have society to put that on us. And we were also responsible to handle other people's burdens, whether it's in, relationships, family members, at work, friendships. Like we we're expected to silence our emotions and keep our head low and show up for others, no matter how deserving we should feel. You gotta stick it out to, like toxic marriages and try to fix it and take, all the punches to deal with it. And that's just how life is. This is like what we were conditioned, and growing up seeing that as little girls taught us that we don't have time to regulate our emotions, that our personal needs don't matter, and that we're not desirable or to be loved. This is what goes into Black women's mind, in their head, and this causes us to neglect our self-care. We think we're not worthy enough to be taken care of, or to care for ourselves. And honestly, most of the time, like, we're too burnt out to do self care at the end of the day. So we always put it off another day and stuff like that, but that never comes. Inside, we're doing more damage to our bodies and to our mental health. We're slowly killing ourselves eternally trying to keep up. Stress is a deadly poison. Like, stress does make you sick. It really does. It puts such a toll on your body, on your organs internally that, like, we sometimes don't even realize until we pay attention to our body. Like, our muscles are so tense up. We're clenching our jaw. We're fidgeting with our fingers or with our knees. I mean, not with our knees, with our legs. And that we just don't even realize it. Like, we have body aches, we get headaches, and that is just honestly put more stress on our heart. It really does. And that's why I say it's like a slowly poison because it slowly kills us inside. We deserve to live a soft life. We tap into our femininity and we deserve to heal too. Take the first step to practice self care by getting great support and resources you can depend on. And I, so the first steps of healing. So, like, I was tired of bottling shit in. I was tired of smiling every day and laughing with my coworkers. I was tired of acting like I'm good, knowing damn well that I am drowning in my own something. I'm drowning in my own stress. I'm drowning in my own everything. I was like done. Always staying strong. I was so done. And then I told myself, like, I'm human. I'm immortal. I'm not made of steel. I shed tears like other girls. I bleed like other girls. And I have the right to express my emotions like the other girls and not be labeled as being aggressive like women or being coming off too strong. So the first step to healing is accepting that you're human. Once I finally accepted that I was completely burned out and that I don't want to be strong all the time and that I am human, that is when I allowed myself to feel my emotions, to express my emotions. Because I'm not going to be walking around on this planet Earth and think that nothing gets to me. Like, I go through same problems and issues just like everyone else here. I shouldn't feel ashamed or walking on glass and worry about other people feeling if I'm feeling some other way, you know? And because I gave myself permission to be human, I learned and had the strength to stand up for myself. And in the process of learning to be unapologetic, how I feel. And like, I now understand, like, like, it's not like what I said is how I said it. And how I approach a certain situation I finally learned that like not every confrontation is argumentative, um, raising, yelling voice at each other. We can have like a very healthy, respectable, constructive conversation with each other without tearing each other down. And that has always been a fear of me. And the reason why I try my best to avoid conflict, because like I would always assume that it's just going to lead to no argument, which that is not true. And so accepting to be human, accepting to feel my emotions, accepting that I am allowed to feel, to be a woman, to be feminine, doesn't label me as weak. Yeah, like it doesn't like equate to me to being weak or I'm trying to seek any type of attention whatsoever. That being said, being unapologetic, I feel like I have a voice and I can like show our, my confidence, your confidence, and just know that like it makes other people uncomfortable to see how confident that we are, how bold and how vocal everything, because we have passion. Like everything that we do, it comes from compassion and caring. And also like we again pushing forward to be like respected and seen, to be seen. And some people will, like the woman write tears or try to say you need to calm down or you're ghetto. Don't let that get to you because like they're just so intimidated by the fact that like we know how to show up for ourselves though. We are so confident with what we believe in, what we stand for, and it makes them uncomfortable because because we're unmatchable. Like they can't stand to see us succeed and surpass them. And that's like what I had to deal with when I went to a predominantly white school, a Catholic school, where like, like I told my therapist this that in first grade I learned how to write cursive. I wrote letters in cursive and I got in trouble with my first grade teacher about it. I misread something on like the calendar board in my fifth grade class, and my fifth grade teacher told my old third grade teacher and my old fourth grade teacher about it, and they asked me if I was okay because I misread something. The fact like how they just try to tear us down and try to put us in a box because they can't accept the fact that we may be just as let me just stop there. Number two, carrying someone else's burdens is not our responsibility and it's not a problem to begin with. It's just not. It's just putting more stress and more load on their shoulder than we already have in our lives. We're not responsible for others' behavior. We're not responsible of taking care of someone. And for oldest daughter, and then maybe sometimes younger daughters too. But oldest daughters, we are expected to take care of our younger siblings. It's like as soon we start living on our own, we have to take care of our younger siblings. Or I roll my eyes a lot because like this is like what I have experienced and going through and what I've been seeing on social media. But like, like where we are also expected or return a favor to our parents for taking care of us. No. Your problem is your problem, not mine. I wasn't born here to take care of you or to take care of my siblings. I will support my sibling and help them the best I can, but I am not going to be cleaning up after them because they're not my child. I'm just saying. And yes, although I would like to help my parents here and there when they in need, don't expect me to help you all the time or like you are entitled. Carrying someone's burden, basically neglect and basically telling us that like we don't matter, that we don't care, and that we're here to make you a better person. Nope. That is your work, your job. I will support you on the sideline, but you got to put in the work. I'm not here to do it for you. Toxicity in family, friendships, relationships, at work has to go. And it's not serving you any purpose. It's not aligned on where you want to be in life. And they will just continue to cross your boundaries and disrespect you. You're actively showing, that you're trying to work with them, meeting them halfway, and to also effectively communicate with them what is needed, what is not needed, what to cross, what not to cross, and in the fact that they will continue to disrespect you and cross those boundaries and not, you know, think thinking about you for once, like how it may impacted you. You don't need that. It is not our job to deal with that, especially like in marriage and relationships, like how we are supposed to hold down the house and the fort, but like I not gonna continue to take the fact that you're disrespecting me. I deserve to be loved. I am worthy. I am worthy of love. And I deserve to be respected how I am respecting you. And the fact that like they don't get that and they don't see that, then they don't care about you. They don't see you. They don't value you. So it is best to, you know, just, distance yourself, back away, leave the toxic relationship. And I know like some people will say, oh, I stay in the relationship for the children. Your children don't want to see that. Your children they don't want to see their parents arguing all the time, seeing you guys hate each other, not showing any affection. They don't want to see that. They want to see you try to work it out. And then like if you are actively working out and it's still not going anywhere, they rather not see you guys be together because they see and they know that you guys are unhappy. And so same thing with like family members, like they could say, oh, that's your mom, that's your dad. Yes, I totally get that. And I appreciate everything that they did for me because, growing up. And also it is also their responsibility. It's required as a parent when they bring a child to the world. However, I am not a child anymore. And even though I was a child, I still deserve to be respected and talked to as a human being. And I am not something that you can just toy around. Like, ugh. Being around people that is just toxic all the time, it's really draining. For number 5, learning to say no without feeling guilt. I struggle with this a lot. Not so much now, but before I would have a hard time saying no because how I was brought up. And I didn't want to seem that I was ungrateful. Um, and I didn't want to be abandoned, didn't want to be liked, did not want to be liked, but like saying no doesn't really define me who I am as a person. Saying no is again allowing you to be human, allowing you to set boundaries for yourself and for others. And it, like, it also like allow you to breathe, to take self-care, to take care of yourself. Because like if you have something to do, or if you have something to do, or you just like don't have the energy to do them, then you can say like, hey, like, I'm sorry, today like it's not a good day for me. I would have to say no, or can I help you tomorrow, or something like that. Like there's no harm saying no. And if the other person is tripping about it, then that's their problem, their issue. Because I'm pretty sure they have other people they can ask for help. And then also, if they're also having like if they're tripping about it, is because like they are so used to have full access of you, and the fact that you're saying no to them, it just like appalled them. You're like you're always there for me. You're always there for me. Okay, right. I'm always there for you, but for today, I can't. I'm grateful. To healing yourself and to set boundaries is to be committed to yourself. And I think, like, growing up, I think this is what our parents were trying to tell us. But, I guess it comes out one year out of the other. Where, like, I don't know how they would word it, but something like, oh, you don't need friends. They come like, you don't need friends, you don't need love, and blah, blah, blah. But how I think they should have worded and how it goes like, you need to have a strong relationship with yourself first. Because without having a strong, healthy relationship with yourself, it leads to people pleasing. It leads to co independence. It leads to low self esteem, no confidence, you don't trust yourself. It leads to a vulnerability to be bullied and gaslighted, and amongst other things. That's pretty scary. Emotional, physical abuse, financial abuse, spiritual abuse, anything that could harm you because they know that you're not committed to yourself. They know that you will sacrifice your own happiness to make them happy, and they know that like once you do that, they see that it makes you happy because you did something you think that's out of kindness. Having a strong relationship with yourself, trying to figure out who you are, as in like your morals, your values, what you like, what you dislike, what you need for you to thrive in life, and also have like a balanced, healthy life where you're not feeling you're just, draining yourself out. That is important. Like you don't have to go out every weekend with your homegirls. You don't have to get drunk every weekend, smoke every weekend, or any other things, like it's okay just to take a break and just take the time to reflect in past days, past month, past year, journal, write everything out, because like when we're on a constant go, we don't realize what's happening around us. We don't pay attention to that until like we are in a safe place and a time to unwind and really just sit back and think and reflect. And so once you build that healthy relationship with yourself, then you can continue to have a healthy relationship with others. And they will see that how you value and respect yourself and how confident that you are with yourself, that they will respect that. They won't try anything that will jeopardize any form of relationship with you. And if they do, and like who they really are, they show the true color. It is, it's okay to reach out for support, extra help, therapy, and I know like in the Black community, we don't want to talk to strangers about our problem. And because I don't know why, honestly. I guess like honestly I do. I feel like it's because like other people are not ready to be honest or admit to themselves. They have to face a true reality of themselves, that they're not as great that they think they are. And they don't want to be called out on. But that's what we need. Because how are we going to grow if we don't, like accept that we're imperfect? We're not perfect. Except that we have some red flags, we have some traits that needs to work on. And I know like some people be like, they don't have really good experience with therapists, but like there's so many therapists that you can go to. You cannot allow one or two therapists to like not stop you from getting the help that you need, that you want. You can always switch therapists. And the one that I go through is BetterHelp. After I switched my other therapist, and I love it. Like they are very flexible with time. Um, they'll be available early in the morning if you need it, or after office hours, and that's usually around like 5 p.m. And Stephanie had helped me to realize some things about myself and in my life. And it also helped me to give me a sense of direction where I wanted to go, career wise. And I know some people reach out to the church if they want to be closer to God, and start actively going to like church activities, Bible studies, and all that, and that is great. And so like, or there's other like non-profit or organization group that you can also attend to help you to have that balanced life, to have that healthy relationship with yourself. And the last thing, surround yourself with positivity. People think that like if there isn't any drama in your life, like then like you're not doing anything, or like your life is just boring, and it's really not. It's honestly just like wanting peace. After a while, you just want peace, and like you just want some alone time with yourself, and surrounded with people and that is positive and only just want to see you grow is something that we all need in our life. We don't want to be around someone that envy us, that want to see us crumble, um, and try to, like maybe sabotage what you're trying to do for yourself. And so being around positivity and, it's still someone still, holding you accountable and still um, speak their mind respectfully if you ask for their opinion. That is possible. That is really possible. It's all right to be strong, but it doesn't mean we have to be strong all the time. Ladies, your worth is not measured by how much you do for others. You are worthy just by being. And so, rest is productive. Your happiness matters, and so does your peace. And I have a cute little affirmation, so let's say this together. I give myself permission to rest. I deserve joy, softness, and ease. I am not responsible for carrying everyone's burdens. Prioritizing myself is not selfish, it's necessary. Thank you so much for tuning in today's episode of Love Selfishly. If this message resonated with you, please go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone that really needs to hear this. Until next time, take care and stay fierce.